Hello and Merry Christmas. I'm coming. Happy Christmas for those of you in the British Commonwealth who say happy rather than merry, and Joyeux Noël, Glücklich Weihnacht. Is that what they call it in Germany? And here in Sweden, what we say is skål while we're drinking mulled wine, also known as glögg. And Glad Lucia, because it's Lucia Day today, which is a very special holiday here in Sweden. This is the Access Arts Live Weekend Christmas Concert Roundup for December 13th to December 15th. We have a wealth of Christmas themed concerts for you, everything from Celtic music to a Bach oratorio to a lively version of the Messiah. So let me get to it and tell you all about it. We start out the first concert that I want to tell you about this weekend, and I'm going to try to focus on two or three of them, which I think are most important, and just briefly discuss some of the others. So the first one that I want to impress upon you is a live stream from the, let me get this right, today, Friday 13th, 7:30 p.m. Pacific time, 10:30 in the evening on the East Coast. This is in the U.S., 4:30 in the morning in Europe. So I doubt anyone here will see it. But 2:30 in the afternoon, Saturday, tomorrow, down under in Australia, Eastern Daylight Time, the Icicle Creek Center for the Arts is live streaming a concert called A Celtic Christmas by the Gothard Sisters. And I'd like to put up a photo for you of the Gothard Sisters. I've been asking myself if there's any way that instead of just listing all the live streams we have for you in these updates and weekly roundups, whether or not I could, simplify this somehow so we're focused in on the most important ones. And for whatever reason, the Gothard Sisters strike me as an excellent Christmas concert to start your weekend off. They promise it will be a high-energy weaving together of Christmas carols, Celtic tunes and songs, plus Irish dancing and more. The Gothard Sisters have been performing together for 13 years or so, performing contemporary Celtic music, writing music themselves, touring together. They are very much involved in happy, optimistic music, which is appropriate for the season. The instruments the three of them will be playing are the guitar, the violin, the mandolin, the bodhran, the djembe, whistles, the ukulele, and percussion, and they'll be dancing as well. This promises to be a good time. So I want to highlight it so that you know about it. It will not be free of charge. There will be a charge of $15 or 14 euros for it. And it would cost you more in person, I guarantee you that. And we give you the link to where you can buy your ticket, and then they give you the link to where you can view the live stream. Now, if that doesn't suit your taste, there's another not uninteresting concert coming up not long after that, a few hours later, at least in the U.S. It's the Australian Boys Choir. Another very Christmas concert. Now, this is being live streamed at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, Australian Eastern Daylight Time on Saturday, the 14th of December, which is 7 in the morning, European time, Saturday morning, but it's late night Friday, 1 o'clock Friday night on the East Coast in the US, and almost prime time, 10 o'clock in the evening, Friday night on the West Coast. This changing of the time zones has really made a lot of the down under music more available to, especially the people on the US West Coast. It's not free of charge. It's live streamed on the Australian Digital Concert Hall.com, which always charges 25 Australian dollars, which is $16.50 US dollars and 15 euros. And most 20 Australian dollars of that goes to the artist. This will be a concert called A Mighty Wonder Christmas concert, named after a song, which I believe was composed by an Australian composer, which they will sing. There will be nearly 200 singers on stage. So come on, this is a concert. What interested me about their program was they're doing several pieces based on O Magnum Mysterium, which was a Gregorian chant from the 12th century, but they reprise it in a version from the 16th century and then in a couple of versions from the 20th century. So that's interesting. And that will be in the first half of the program, which is much more classic. And then in the second half, they're singing Christmas carols, including Australian Christmas carols. So that could be fun. When you're done with that, it's time to go to bed. But we move on to Saturday. There are a number of concerts on Saturday. I just want to focus on one of them for you, really, but I will tell you about all of them. The first concert it comes to you from the Catholic Cathedral in Moscow. Christmas Melodies played on the organ, harp, and saxophone. Interesting combination of music. The concerts from the Catholic Cathedral in Moscow are always aesthetically very interesting and pleasing. And they're just, it's a lovely series of concerts, 2 or 3 a week. This will be at 8 o'clock Moscow time, 6 in the evening European time, lunchtime, noon on the East Coast Saturday, and 9 in the morning breakfast time on the West Coast. It's on YouTube, it's live streamed, it's free of charge. Now what I want to tell you about is the concert that I can really, I think I can recommend it to you without having heard it in advance. This Saturday evening in Cologne or Köln, Germany, the WDR Klassik Orchestra, don't ask me what the WDR stands for, just consider it the Cologne Philharmonic, will be live streaming parts 1 through 3 of Johann Sebastian Bach's lovely Christmas Oratorio, or Weihnachtsoratorio, as the Germans call it. The reason I commend it to you is because of the contributors. Whose picture you have now, unless you're watching on Instagram. Julie Duscher, the soprano soloist, she's a specialist in this. This is her core concert repertoire: oratorios and passions of Bach and Mozart and Haydn and Mendelssohn's Lobgesang Symphony. So she's going to know what she's doing. Helen Charleston, the mezzo-soprano, won the London Handel competition in 2018. Kieran Karel, the tenor, he's with the Deutsche Oper Berlin, the German opera in Berlin. So he's a real performer, but he has appeared already in things like Haydn's Creation, and he's been the evangelist in Bach's St. John Passion. So again, an early music enthusiast. And the bass, Jonas Müller, was prize winner of the 2024 International Competition for Art Song, organized by the International Hugo Wolf Academy, the IHWA. What it is they all seem to be young, up-and-coming artists who are, and artists like that, they really lay it out there for you when they're doing a high-profile concert like this, singing with the Cologne Phil for this big Christmas oratorio concert. I expect them mixing organ metaphors with organs. I expect them to pull out all the stops and do their best. And they've already proven at a young age that their best is very good. I recommend it to you. If you don't know Bach's Yule Oratorio, it's one to discover. And this one you can discover in the comfort of your own home. It's long. It comes in 6 parts. They're only doing the first half, but you can discover it in the comfort of your own home instead of sitting for a long time in a church or a concert facility. Now, after that, there are several Christmas-themed concerts in a row of the chamber music variety. The musicians of the Old Post Road will be doing a concert called Christmas Far and Wide. They're in D.C. They're in Massachusetts, Worcester, Massachusetts, actually, at the Trinity Lutheran Church. The Old Post Road was the first road in the 17th century to go from Boston to New York. But the musicians of the Old Post Road are a well-known early musical ensemble in the U.S., and they always do quality work. They'll be doing some traditional Christmas carols or songs. They'll be doing selected pieces by Bach and by George Friedrich Handel. It will be high quality. They'll be doing music from Ireland, England, France, Poland, Germany, the Czech region, New England, and Mexico, alongside the Bach and the Handel. So that's did I give you the time for that? No, I didn't. Let me give you the time for that. That will be at 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time in the U.S., 1 o'clock in the afternoon on the West Coast, 10 o'clock in the evening in Europe, and the next morning, Sunday morning, 6 a.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. After that, a little later in the evening, 7:30 in the evening, Eastern Standard Time, 4:30 on the West Coast, 1:30 in the morning in Europe, and 11:30 Sunday morning down in Australia. The Dumbarton Concerts regular live stream series presents Helicon, playing winter solstice, bluegrass, and folk Christmas music and beyond. This is, if you like this kind of folk music, they began back in the earlies playing Irish music as transported to the south and west of the United States, and then they expanded out to be a world folk trio. They play the hammered dulcimer, the fiddle, the guitar, the cittern, the mandolin, the piano, the wooden flute, the whistle, small pipes, banjos, and they do a little step dancing. So that's what you have that for a traditional folk music Christmas concert on early Sunday evening in the U.S. Now, what I want to point out to you, especially on Saturday, I'm sorry, I just misspoke, on Saturday, is this next concert. I am intrigued by this group called the Harmonia Orchestra and Chorus that you see in the picture, who will be live streaming Handel's Messiah Saturday, December 14th at 2:30 Pacific Standard Time, because they're out in Seattle, Washington. 5:30 in the afternoon on the East Coast on Saturday, 11:30 in the evening in Europe, and 9:30 Sunday morning Australian Eastern Daylight Time. Why am I intrigued? Well, a few years ago, they recently got a very ambitious conductor and harpsichord player named William C. White to take over the thing. This started out as a small chamber group some 20, 30 years ago. It has grown to be a 70-member orchestra with a 55-voice chorus, which performs oratorio masterworks alongside symphonic and an a cappella repertoire, world premieres, and chamber music still, which is where they had their roots. I'm intrigued. I don't know how good it will be. It won't be free of charge. It will cost you $25 US dollars or 24 euros. We give you the link to Eventbrite where you can pay that, and then they give you the link to it. And it's intriguing to me. They promise that it will be the Messiah played with a flair that you will not hear anywhere else. You might want to check it out. Oh, I love that clog. So then we move on to Sunday. And Sunday we will have for you three different Christmas concerts, which may interest you. The first of them is at 7:30 in the evening Eastern Time, 4:30 on the West Coast, 1:30 in the morning in Europe, and 11:30 Monday morning down under in Australia. It is the Cincinnati Pops affiliate of the Cincinnati Symphony Orchestra, which is a high-quality orchestra. It's going to be directed by Christian Marcelou. Starting next year, coming over from the Orchestra Nationale de France, and that should be really interesting. Anyway, this is on YouTube, free of charge. Broadway star Norm Lewis joins the Pops with chorist, vocalists, dancers, a youth chorus, students from creative and performing arts schools. It's a real sort of holidays celebration. They'll be doing traditional American carols. They'll be doing some pieces of Duke Ellington's version of some of those Tchaikovsky Christmas pieces. Then a little later in the day, the Seattle Girls Choir will be up for you. Do I have a picture of the Seattle Girls Choir in my picture storage? Yeah, I have a picture of them. There they are. I'm happy to see that picture. This is the Cantamus, or Cantamus, it would be correct in Latin, ensemble of the Seattle Girls Choir. It's a sing-along of beloved Christmas carols. If you're saying to me, John, can't you just find me a typical American Christmas carols I can sing along with? This is it. Free. It's on YouTube, so it's free of charge, although I'm sure they also accept donations. And what could be better than a lovely, a girls' choir singing Christmas carols you can sing along with? I don't know. And then finally, the piece that I really want to recommend to you, though, on Sunday is this next piece. I think it's going to be something special indeed. Sunday, December 15th, 8 o'clock in the evening, Mountain Standard Time, which is 9 o'clock in the evening on the West Coast, 10 o'clock in the evening on the East Coast, 4 in the morning in Europe. I don't think you'll get up for it. 2 in the afternoon on Monday afternoon down under in Australia, Eastern Daylight Time. The Eccles Organ Festival will be live streaming to you from the church, the Cathedral of the Madeleine in Salt Lake City, a brass and organ Christmas concert, which will have 4 trumpets, 4 horns, 3 trombones, timpani, and a partridge in a pear tree, and skull, and Merry Christmas. I think this will be terrific. I've got some photographs that I can show you also of the organ. I'm not going to go into all of the specs of the organ here. We did that in our weekend, our weekly roundup of organ recitals, but it is a first-class organ, which together with the brass, it can really give you a rocking Christmas concert. They'll be playing Bach selections from the Christmas Oratorio that I was telling you about being live streamed on Saturday, and Allemande from the Cello Suite Number 1, BWV 1007, transcribed for organ. Of course, they'll be playing some Dupre and Dulci Giubilo and Cortege et Litanie, some Mikola Leontovich, The Carol of the Bells, Poulenc, Tchaikovsky, Herbert Somson, Somshun, songs like God Bless You, Merry Gentlemen, The First Noel, etc. Some Richard Purvis, some Giovanni Gabrielli. There will be organ solos to show off that organ as well as these carols. It looks to me like a rousing good time. That and the organ recital that if you're just an organ recital enthusiast, that and the organ recital earlier in the day from Saint Eustache Church in Paris, where they're playing opera music on the organ, on an organ which has 7,952 pipes and 115 stops, the equal of the organ at the Notre Dame Cathedral. I mean, if you're an organ enthusiast, it's a great day for you to be checking out live streams, free of charge. The Eccles Organ Festival invites you to donate, though, but if you just watch it, you can get online and watch it for free if you don't have the scratch or don't want to devote your scratch to that. That's what we have for you this weekend. Isn't it great? Christmas is coming, the goose is getting fat. Please put a penny in the old man's hat. Consider me the old man. Consider the hat to be clicking on subscribe if you're watching me on X, or if you're watching this on YouTube, where you can subscribe, or following us if you're watching us live or recorded on Facebook or on LinkedIn, or follow us if you see us recorded, because we can't integrate the live stream onto our other platforms on TikTok and Threads. I have planned this so that we're everywhere, because we really do want to reach as many people as possible in as many different places on as many different possible platforms, so that you have access to what's going on out there, And I see that Benedetto Pelosi 90 has joined us on Instagram. And I just want to say hello to Benedetta. We can't always see everybody who is logged on to us, but But when I can, I'm just so happy that I'm talking to people who are alive rather than people just tuning into the recording. Listen, when you watch a live stream, you are sharing in a moment with the rest of the audience, living, breathing artists who are pouring their heart, minds, and souls in an act of love into creating this social sharing of truth and beauty. I don't know anything that's greater than that in all of human experience, and I recommend to everybody to participate in it as much as you can, either in person or live streaming it, especially when so much of it is free of charge. So have a great Christmas time. Enjoy the weekend, and I hope that one or more of these live streams I've told you about uplifts you, inspires you, or just gives you a great time. Ciao for now. We'll be back on Monday with the roundup of what's left of performing arts live streaming in the last week before Christmas. And God jul, as we say in Sweden. And Glad Lucia, because it's also Lucia Day here in Sweden. Ciao for now.